Hello, beautiful friends and book lovers. I hope that you are all doing well. If you are new here, my name is Heather, and here at Heather's Book Review, I typically like to read and review thrillers and mysteries, but I will read the occasional super hyped up fiction novel. Today, I am discussing a thriller with you. It is 56 Days by Catherine Ryan Howard. This was the July book of the month. It's interesting. I was just filming my review for We Were Never Here, and I was like, I could have sworn that book of the month put their months on the back of their book, but that one doesn't have it for some reason, which I thought was interesting. But anyways, going to be reviewing 56 Days, which I chose as my July book of the month. If you're unfamiliar with book of the month, it is a $14.99 dollar book subscription, where you can choose an add-on and get another book for $10. They let you choose up to 3 add-ons. So for example, the last time that I ordered from them, I ordered We Were Never Here, which was my $14.99 subscription. That's just like your monthly payment. Then I got 2 add-ons. I got Sharila Penna's Not a Happy Family and Project Hail Mary. Both of those books for $10. So I think it's a great deal for, especially for hardcover books, because this like retails at $24.99. So I think it's great. I have a referral link in the description below that if you go through that, I get a free book, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, anyways, I was pleasantly surprised at this book. So I'm super excited to chat about it today. If you're new here, I always do a non-spoiler review and like tell you what I rated the book in the beginning. And then in the description box below, I put a timestamp for my book chat, which contains spoilers because it's for people who have read the book. So if you're at this review and you're like, I just want to know your thoughts because I too have read it, just click on that timestamp in the description box below, or you can be a gem and just watch the whole review. If this book sounds interesting to you, but you don't want to buy it through Book of the Month, I will just leave a general Amazon link for you in the description below. But I'm gonna read you the inside flap of this book so you know what it's about. Before I get reading the flap, I do wanna say 2 things. 1, you can connect with me on Instagram and Goodreads, same handle, it's just at Heather's Book Review. Number 2, a lot of people didn't wanna read this book because it takes place during quarantine, which I was like, why wouldn't people wanna read that? Like, we all went through it, you know what I mean? But then I was like, okay, wait, think of it from a different mindset. A lot of people just didn't want to relive that, so to speak, and just kind of are trying to forget about quarantine and everything, which I also get. For me personally, it didn't turn me off for the book. I was like, I'll read it. Like, it wasn't like about quarantine, like I'm not going to read that kind of thing. I actually thought it was really interesting. And let's be honest, how many other authors have written books taking place in quarantine? It's definitely a relatable setting. But anyways, so let's just go ahead and let me tell you what the book says in the beginning flap. It says 56 days ago. Sierra and Oliver meet in a supermarket queue in Dublin and start dating the same week COVID-19 reaches Irish shores. 35 days ago, when lockdown threatens to keep them apart, Oliver suggests they move in together. Sierra sees a unique opportunity for a relationship to flourish without the scrutiny of family and friends. Oliver sees a chance to hide who and what he really is. Today, detectives arrive at Oliver's apartment to discover a decomposing body inside. Can they determine what really happened, or has lockdown created an opportunity for someone to commit the perfect crime? Also on the back, it says, no one even knew they were together. Now one of them is dead. So the book tells you, like, you go into the book knowing that one of them is gonna die. So don't come at me being like, you revealed too much. No, really, like it says it on the back cover. Is this book about the COVID-19 pandemic? No, it takes place during the pandemic though. The book is a thriller. The book is centered on Sierra and Oliver, the couple that I just told you about, but it's not about, like, the book isn't about COVID, if that makes sense. It's just like, basically the author does a good job of like setting the tone of like what happened when we were all told to quarantine, and when you couldn't leave the house unless it was for a medical reason or to get groceries. Like, it has that vibe, but the book is centered around like the murder, you know what I mean? It was really interesting to see the characters function during the height of the pandemic, because it brought me back to those early weeks, of March and April of 2020 when like no one was leaving their houses. But imagine being in an apartment with someone that you barely know for 2 weeks. The thought just like gives me goosebumps because it's like, I don't know them, but like I'm living with them. You know what I mean? For like a couple weeks. Like this is weird. This book, I really liked it because it actually does have a decent amount of like twists and turns. Here's my little rating scale. I am giving this book the 2nd rating, an enjoyable read. I will say that the book was good. Was I rushing to finish it? No. I would describe it as like a bit more slow, but still enjoyable. If you're currently looking for a thriller that will keep you busy, will keep you guessing, I recommend it. I mean, I had a fun time reading it. It's just not one of my favorite books of the year, but it's still good. I personally am happy that I read it. On Goodreads, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. Personal rating, it gets an 8 out of 10. I am excited to get into the book chat part of the video for those of us who have read, because there were just a few parts of the book that I didn't see coming, and I wanna discuss them with you guys, and I wanna see what everybody else thinks of them. So if you're new here, I would love if you could hit that subscribe button and that post notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new book review. But for those of us who have read, let's get chatting. I'm gonna be referencing my notes here. So when I started to put the pieces together, that Oliver's paranoia that we experienced from his point of view early on in the book wasn't actual paranoia. Like everything he was thinking was right about Sierra. Like, what are the chances that she would be here, you know, five days in a row? And why does she have that NASA bag and everything? You know, when he was thinking all of that, I thought she was going to end up being the sister of the boy that he killed. I didn't predict that she was going to be the sister of the other murderer, Shane. So that was a good twist for me. Were you guys able to predict that? Because I really thought that like she was going to be out in revenge for the part, or for like, you know, she was being vengeful and trying to get revenge on him for killing her brother was like my train of thought. I will say, like, going back to his paranoia, it was really fun for me because I just thought, like, you know, something's wrong with him. It says it in the inside flap that like he's trying to hide who he is. But I thought she was like a genuine girl, like she genuinely liked him. So that was really interesting for me when the book started, you know, you could get the vibe like, oh wait, actually she was stalking him. Like she was trying to, you know, get to know him more, but like for her own reason, so to speak, her own agenda. So I do remember thinking as I was reading it, like this seems a little too convenient that like they would be at the store at the same time 5 days in a row. Like that just, I was like, that doesn't happen. Like even 3 days in a row, you would be starting to think like, is this person following me? I got chills in the part when Oliver, like the sleeping drug was starting to get in his system and he was really drowsy, and he got up and he found her journal or her diary or whatever with all the facts that she was giving him and like the verbatim speech of someone else who went to that like NASA museum and like the speech of like how they felt during the experience. I just got chills then. Like imagine how he would have felt in that situation, like his body being affected by the drug. He's getting all this crazy information, but like can't respond to it. And his body's like essentially betraying him, so to speak, because I'm sure at that time he's being like, he's starting to feel like I have to get out of here, but you know, he can't. Like, ugh, imagine feeling that. I thought it was crazy that she really drowned him, just like how he drowned that boy. It was very like what comes around goes around kind of thing. Like you drowned that boy, so now you're gonna drown. But something that I'm kind of like her brother Shane did help participate in killing that boy. Like, yes, Oliver admits that it was him and that, you know, because he was trying to paint Shane in the bad light, but then, you know, he ends up being like, just kidding, it was me. But like Shane still helped. So I don't know, like obviously Oliver being the ringleader like made her furious, right? And she ended up killing him. And obviously her motive was like her mom. Everything with Shane just like deteriorated her mom. Her mom's like the rest of her life basically, right? So she was trying to tell her mom at the end, like, hey, it wasn't really Shane, you know, who wanted to do this essentially. But I was also kind of like, yeah, but he still took part in it. So I don't know. Is she justified in killing Oliver? What do you guys think? I thought overall it was a fun read. I do remember kind of like dragging through it though, which, you know, I really wanted to start We Were Never Here, so I like forced myself to finish this, but like it was weird. Like I wasn't not liking the book. It was taking me a while to read, I guess. And maybe that's because like it could have been a little bit more fast paced in parts. I do feel like some parts were kind of slow, but overall I liked it. So please leave in the comments what you thought about the book. And as always, I'll see you in my next video. Bye, you guys.